and moves were made. Hands were shook, money exchanged hands, possibly drugs. But it was all good. It was all in the name of fantasy football.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dynasty. Like I said, we all see things differently.
Put it on his shirt.
I just drank what tasted like a root beer, but now I'm feeling kind of tipsy.
Judges?
Yes.
Judges?
Yes.
So,
we're good like that.
Ride that unicorn, my friend.
I was really going to do an awful Mexican accent, but I realized how bad I'd be at someone else for doing that. So, hi.
We all are very intrigued and very interested in what will happen this year.
Welcome, everybody. This is the Dynasty podcast. I'm Peter Livingston. Alongside me from the town of Petaluma, California, Egg Country, as it's been known for years and years, but also the home of the finest European craft brewery, Lagunitas, California. I am joined by our commissioner, Eliot Paisley, and a special guest that is joining us from a faraway mythological land called Mikagan.
Also known as Uper, somehow.
Pat Rogers is also joining us. So thank you both so much for joining me for the splendid occasion.
We're happy to be here. Technical difficulties aside, I wouldn't have it any other way.
I am just incredibly happy that we're actually able to do this in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
So we have this is going to be not our typical interview podcast with our commissioner. We do have some things we're going to be discussing as well, like our schedule. We are going to be going through our schedule release this episode, and we also have a trade that Eliot would like to announce, and I'm going to be just sprinkling in. I went through some of our favorite forum posts, meltdowns on our message board back when we had our message board before Slack, and I will be reading those aloud between hot takes from our commissioner in Uper. So with that, Eliot, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Heck yeah. Well, yeah, thanks for having us. We have been working on this trade for a while. I think that's how we'll start off. I was first approached by the notorious Mr. Matt Keyser, the braggadocious 1+1, and said, basically, I have some players that I'm not going to keep. You want them. And so that was a couple weeks ago, and so it was Mr. Rashard Matthews, wide receiver, Tennessee, and Mr. Josh Doxson, wide receiver out of Washington. And I don't know, I kind of had some interest in it, and it kind of stemmed from there. And a whole, long story short, we've come up with a 4-team trade.
My goodness.
Yeah, I know. It's not the largest one we'll do this offseason, but it does have some moving parts. So I think maybe, Pat, correct me, but maybe I'll just explain what I'm getting out of it, and then you can explain what you're getting out of it, and then we can kind of summarize the other two team members. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so I'm in a position where I'm not too stoked on my team, but I'd really like to kind of get a little bit better in the draft positioning. So I am giving up a 6th-round pick, which is later in the 6th, and I'm giving up an 8th-round pick. And for those two draft picks, I'm moving up to early in the 5th round and then getting an 11. So basically, I'm taking 2 middle picks to try to get one pick that's earlier in the 5th that I think I can get a better selection at. And I also gain the rights to the Rashard Matthews, wide receiver out of Tennessee, from Mr. Matt Keyser. And he is keepable in a 5th with that 5th-round pick that I acquired. I have not yet decided whether I'm going to use the 5th-round pick on Matthews. I'm leaning towards not right now, but I do have the rights to Matthews if I choose to use it. And then, Pat, what do you get out of this?
So I'll start with what I give up. My number 1 pick, which is a 3rd-round pick, number 26 overall. In return, I get Latavius Murray, Kevin White, and Josh Doxson along with a 5th round pick and an 11th round pick.
Right.
So this fills a huge depth hole that I had, where I only really had 2 keepers. Now I have maybe 5. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this was much a big need for me. I had 3 third-round picks, so giving up one of them wasn't a huge loss. And I was able to divide that into 3 rosterable players, even startable in some cases.
So that means that the 4th man in this trade is our president as of right now.
Mr. Robin Brown Ward.
Robin Brown Ward of Fart Apocalypse.
Exactly, of Fart Apocalypse. And he basically gives up the rights to Latavius Murray and Kevin White and a 5th round pick in order to move up to the 3rd round, taking Pat's pick. So it's basically giving up some player assets that he may or may not have wanted to keep, maybe give up some roster depth, and then move up early into the 3rd round.
Here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think, not Eliot, who do you think Robin will be looking to snag there at the top end of the 3rd round?
Honestly, whoever
Yes.
Joe's target.
Yeah, this was definitely a Joe-fueled move.
Yeah, this is being terrified of Joe and wanting to snake in there. Honestly, early 3rd, you still have a lot of good players. You could still take, I think, Crabtree, Marshawn Lynch. There's a quarterback, Drew Brees.
A rookie running back. A lot
running
of
backs.
high-risk players, but certainly some huge upsides available.
That's
Right.
also where you might be able to find Amir Abdullah or maybe even Golden Tate.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, one could say, like, which has the more upside, Latavius Murray or Dalvin Cook?
Well, Dalvin Cook was just named number 1 on the depth chart.
Okay,
So
well, I
we'll
didn't realize
see.
that. So that's a good one. But, like, you talk about it, like, you had Murray, you had the running back in Minnesota. So if you went rookie running back there in the 3rd, I guess that's some greater upside. But I think it was pretty interesting. And then I guess just to finish it out, Matt Keiser, he basically gives up Doxson and Richard Matthews, who he wasn't planning to keep as far as I know, and then gets a 6th round pick out of it. So he basically... He just moved, he gets a 6th and gives up a 14th. Does it look like? So
Yes.
so that's not a bad deal for Matt at all.
Okay. That's interesting. And, if I had to guesstimate, if you had to grade the trades, what do you think? Looking at let's go ahead and we'll let each of you grade your own trades to start.
I give myself probably just a B because it doesn't do a whole hell of a lot for me. I do think it's beneficial because I think moving up it's something like 16 picks going from my 6th round pick to my 5th round pick. So that's something good. And then I lose my 8th and go back to the 11th where I think a lot of keepers are going to be. So the actual number of selections I'm going to lose is not really 3 rounds worth. So ultimately it's a net win, just nothing huge.
Okay. And then Pat?
I might give myself maybe a little lower, a B-, because, well, the 3rd round pick, there's a chance that turns into a really valuable player. And my reasoning was Murray, White, and Doxson. There's the same chance that whoever I drafted with a 3rd would turn into a really valuable player. May as well equal the chance that one of them actually turns out to be valuable this year in fantasy.
Right. I mean, there's definitely the argument to be made that somebody has to catch balls in Chicago. Like, I know that some people are saying that it's a little bit of a one-man show with that being the running back position, but it's like somebody has to catch passes. Like, you're going to have a quarterback that's going to get 3,000-something yards. Like, somebody's going to get those.
That kind of money and then don't throw the ball.
Right.
Considering he's Mike Lennon. But
Right. I've been a Kevin White fan. I've had him before. I've traded him. I like it.
I think he's low risk, especially because I own the rights to Cam Meredith next year.
And White is keepable in what round? Really late, right?
It is late. Let me...
11th, I believe.
White...
I want to say he's a 12.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Actually, he is a 12th.
13th this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
15th last year. So
Very nice.
yeah, that's a number of years of
Okay.
control. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah, not too bad.
took a lot of messaging back and forth to get 4 teams involved.
It was
Keezer's
funny. It was going to be a 3-team trade, but then
yeah.
our 3-team trade fell through, and then Robin kind of messaged me wanting my 3rd-round pick. And I originally wasn't really willing to listen, but then the 3-team trade kind of picked back up again, and I said, well, Robin, this kind of fits with the other trade that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And quite fascinating. You don't really see 4-team trades very often, especially in a 12-team league.
Right, we got a third of the league in one
Yeah.
trade.
And 3 of the teams are notorious for being bad to trade with.
Wait, who's the 4th? Right, so who's the not notorious to trade with?
Probably you.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Unless I'm not considered hard to trade with.
Okay.
I think I am.
Elliot's swimming amongst the sharks.
Oh, man, I just got sharked.
I think you guys should not only check your wallets, but also check your buttholes after this one. Somebody may have. I don't know. No, but
All right.
I think all in all, yeah, I think that pretty beneficial to all people. Considered. Robin has to like moving up to the 3rd round. There's some pretty good value there, and it sounds like Pat has some potential, keepers, and if Murray is healthy, he could be good. And so it sounds like all around everybody is quite enjoying this trade.
Yeah. We all got a little bit better.
All right. Well, I think that actually might be the largest trade that our league has ever.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever done a quattro. I don't think we've ever done a quattro before.
No, and this is actually, it wasn't really interesting podcast, but it's actually even more than this because Pat and Robin swap a 2018, like 12th and 14 rounders, and officially Cam Meredith goes from Keezer to, from Pat to Keezer this year, or right now, instead of the player to be named later, business before. I'll spell it all out in Slack, but what I explained to you earlier, Pete, was the guts. But yeah, I think this might definitely be the largest trade that we've ever done.
That's kind of cool. Congratulations, you guys. You've officially made history. And speaking of history, let's dive back to December 12th.
Oh, shit.
In the first year of our league, where I found, I was going through, and there wasn't nothing too crazy because, we were kind of feeling out. It's our first year doing Dynasty. And then emotions flare a little bit come playoff time. And anybody care to guess who was?
Does it involve me yet?
I don't believe so. But do you care to guess?
It does involve me. I want to see if the story I remember is still what actually happened.
Well, we will say, I'll give you a hint. It is the host of the Dynasty podcast who. And the title of this message on the message board was Meltdown Fucking Commence. This happened at December 12th, 11:09 p.m. I take it this may have been a Thursday night, and I may have been drinking. And here is the post. I fucking went with my head instead of my gut, and I'm gonna get fucked in the ass for it by the giant bolt of Zeus. Rivers had a shitty game against Denver earlier this year, and I absolutely knew, that even though the Denver D isn't that tough, he would find a way to underperform again. Yet I went with him anyway because of that stupid bumfuckery of an asshole called, quote, logic. What a fucking bullshit play on my part. And now Andrew Luck is going to drop trow and take a massive dump all over the craptastic Houston D, at home nonetheless, in a climate-controlled dome. Fuck me, fuck my money. Enjoy using my money on prostitutes and blow, ladies and gentlemen. It's as good as dead to me. End of post.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Eliot was the first person to comment, in which he said, gotta say, I love the passion. So...
You're corrupting the youth of today with that post. There were some high school freshmen. Jeez.
Yeah, little did I know what would what we were dealing with, but I apologize for that, young Pat. It might explain why you are the way you are today. So,
Pat Young's, well, it explains a lot about Scott. Let me tell you something.
yeah, I think so. May have had an influence. So that is the first post that I will be diving into on this fantasy football podcast. I hope that you enjoyed that little trip back into a possibly intoxicated Pete Livingston brain on Thursday, December 12th, 11:09 p.m. Again, the title of that post was Meltdown Fucking Commence.
That was 4 years ago?
Yeah, that was year one of the league.
That's incredible.
Beautiful, beautiful writing by yours truly. Yeah. So let's go ahead. Let's dive into week one of the Dynasty schedule.
As Scott turns off the podcast somewhere in the distance.
We have breaking news here. We have a schedule release ready to go. Pete, so what I was thinking is that Pat and I will release the schedule week by week. Would you be interested in making a game-by-game prediction, or do you think that might just take too much time?
I can do it rapid fire, super quick.
Okay, we'll do it rapid fire. I'll hit some bold on my spreadsheet, and then we'll tally the results.
Okay.
All right, week one. Week one is a rivalry week. Now, the use of rivalry is a little bit loose. I understand that. That's what Yahoo calls it. Basically, rivalry week means interdivision games. And as we know, interdivision games is the number one tiebreaker for your division winner. So it is, as I've been trying to do as commish, it is important to win these division games. Same as last year, weeks 1 and 2, 7 and 8, and 13 and 14 will be your rivalry weeks, your in-division games. So this is all random. I can go into this later if you want on Slack, but it is all random. I had no preconceived methods or methodologies for any of this. This was all random. Week one is going to be Brienne versus Joe. Pete, who takes it?
Joe. Landslide.
Yeah. Other in the He-Man Woman Haters division, Robin Marcos.
Oh, crap. I'll say Robin.
Yeah, really, you want to do that? Robin will just had a kid. Wrong answer. Marcos wins.
I didn't know there was right and wrong. Damn it.
Yeah, right. In the Roger Goodell division, Pete, you get to play Tahir.
Me. I'm not gonna. He's not gonna get me this year. He's going down.
Right. How about yours truly, the commissioner versus your brother, Timbo?
That's going to be really close. I'm gonna have to give the edge to Tim, but that's gonna be close.
All right. In the bad sports puns, we have Mr. Matt Keyser against Mr. Pat.
Oh man, this is
gonna be a 1 point game. It's gonna be a 1 plus 1 point game.
I gotta give it to Keyser. Sorry, Pat.
Okay. And then Mr. Hughes versus Scott.
I'm gonna go with Scott.
Okay,
I agree.
Okay, I'm already kind of bored of this, but we're gonna keep going. Week 2, Brienne versus Robin.
Robin.
Okay, Joe versus Marcos.
Joe.
Tim versus Tahir.
Tim.
Eliot versus Pete.
Me.
What the fuck? That's a wrong answer.
Damn it, I did it again.
Okay, here we have week 2. It's the Maddle. Maddle number 1.
Oh, yes. I got Matt Hughes with the upset.
All right. And Uper Bowl number 1.
Yeah, that'll be
Scott, because Pat's going to be in full-on tank mode come week 3.
All right.
Oh, that's very, very accurate.
Week 3, Brienne Elliott.
Elliot.
Joe Tim.
Oh, man. This is going to be some fireworks.
That's an early season matchup to watch.
Yeah, that's like a potential championship game. I'll say Tim.
All right. Robin and Scott. That's another big one.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The douchebag.
Yeah.
I will say Scott because Ezekiel Elliott will be coming off of his suspension, hungry and ready to go, and scoring 50 points in a game.
Okay, week 3, Marcos or Matt Hughes?
Marcos.
Tahir or Pat?
Tahir. Pat's going 0-4.
Yourself or Matt Keyser?
Me.
Week 4, Brienne or Tahir?
Hang on. Let's take a break. Let's take a quick break, and let's go back in the past again. Let's go back in the past. The day is December 15th. Okay, same year, first year of the league. Would you care to guess the author of this post?
That would be Mr. Matt Keyser.
Wrong. Pat?
Joe?
Wrong. It's me again. The title... This is a bad week for me. The title of this post was... Fuck this. It was posted at 4:22 in the PM on December 5th, which would be a Sunday. A Sunday late afternoon. And the post goes as follows. Just absolutely fuck this shit. The fucking Cowboys of all teams do me in. What a shitty fucking day. Any team but those hapless assholes. Fuck you. Just fucking fuckity fuck you. And fuck you Houston Texans for fucking Andre Johnson, you sack of shit fucks.
Oh man, Andre Johnson sighting.
What? Yeah. Well, this may seem familiar. 1.8 yards.
You really have it out for Texas.
1.8 yards for one of the best receivers in football? Give me a break.
Still
I could
going.
have played quarterback and gotten him more targets / catches, you ignorant assholes. Gary Kubiak, how in this shit can you have such a shit show of a QB unit? Give me a break. Fast forward a few years later, it's not all that much different. Getting fourth is going to be like being invited to the Pro Bowl, arriving to the Pro Bowl, then finding out that it was all practical joke and you actually got charged for your plane ticket to Hawaii, your hotel, and then access to the Pro Bowl game. Then on top of it, Roger Goodell lights your Pro Bowl jersey on fire right in front of you and laughs. Then he pisses on your ashes and makes out with your woman. So thanks for that, Gary Kubiak, and the Houston shit shows and the Dallas fucking Cowboys. Secede, Texas. For the love of Christ, secede. Get the fuck out of my life, my fantasy life, and any other life for all of eternity, you bumfuck motherfuckers. Fuck this shit. End of post.
Wow. You better get it together, man.
Oh my god. Yep, this is out there on the internet. So that was me again, December 15th, 4:22 p.m. And then Pat actually was the first to reply.
Ooh.
You know, some people didn't even make the playoffs. To which Scott replied, "Crybaby."
We must have been together.
Possibly. Okay. On with the schedule.
All right, week 4. The Who Can Suck Worst Bowl. Brienne here.
Brienne and Tahir?
Yeah.
Tahir's 4 tight end strategy will pay off, and he will win.
Okay. Joe versus Pete. I was going to say Joe versus the volcano, but I don't know, Pete. Can you come out that strong?
I don't think I have the best record against Joe. And I think that I have to give it to Joe.
Okay. How about Robin versus Keyser?
Oh, man. I think Keyser works some devil magic and actually wins this one.
Marcos versus Pat.
Marcos. Pat by this time, will be starting 6 kickers.
Tim versus Hughes.
Tim.
Eliot versus Scott.
Oh, man. You will be in full-on baby mode. I'll give it to Scott.
Okay. Week 5. Okay, here is the honest suck bowl. Brienne versus Pat.
Oh, man.
Gotta win. This is like the Zeke Bowl. This is the 2018 Zeke Bowl here.
It really is. Pat is going to try his hardest but fail, and I think Brienne ekes out a win. 45-39. Pat wins.
I
All
had
right.
47 going into Monday, but I streamed the who sucks? The Jaguars defense.
There you go. And
Okay, another future possible championship matchup: Joe versus Keyser.
I think Keyser will win this one.
Okay, Robin versus Eliot.
I think I'll throw the commission bone.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear,
I'll
man.
throw you a bone.
Marcos and Tim.
Marcos with the upset.
Ooh. Tahir and Scott.
Scott.
Pete and Hughes.
Me. All the way.
Okay. Going to week 6. Brienne and Keezer.
Keezer.
Joe and Pat.
Joe. By a lot.
Robin and Tim.
Ooh, man, this is going to be another good one.
Yeah.
I will say Tim back-to-back losses. Go Robin.
Oh, okay. Marcos and Eliot.
Oh, man, this should be another good one.
Yeah.
Marcos.
Ooh, fuck you.
Sorry.
Tahir.
I'll give Tahir. Tahir.
Okay. And then how are you going to do against Scott?
I will beat Scott.
Okay. Week 7. We're going back into rivalry weeks. Brienne versus Marcos.
Oh, Marcos.
Okay. Here's the big one, Joe and Robin.
Robin with the upset. Robin with the upset.
The election bowl, it's like right at the start of the bye week.
Right.
It's all about roster management. Pete, this answer, which owner manages their team better in bye weeks?
Between the two of them?
Yeah. Joe and Robin.
I will say Joe.
All right. Same question now with you and your brother.
Me.
Your
All
bros.
the way. Me.
Okay, good answer. How about myself and Tahir?
Tahir.
No.
Wait, and winning or managing the you'll beat Tahir.
Thank you. Keezer and Scott?
Oh man. Scott is going to have so much revenge in his heart and his soul. He wants to beat Keezer, and he's not going to do it because Keezer is literally Satan in disguise. Keezer's going to win.
Okay, and then Hughes beats Pat. You know about that.
Yep. Pat's going to have one win.
Okay, now here in week 8, we start off with probably the most lopsided game of the entire year.
Keezer and
Brienne and Joe.
Oh,
Joe wins.
Yeah, Joe.
Robin and Marcos. This might be a wild card game.
Yeah. Man. I think they're going to split this year. I can't remember who won the first one, but they're going to split.
Robin, Marcos in week 1.
I had Robin beating Marcos.
Yeah.
Okay, then Marcos wins this week.
Okay, how about Tim and Eliot?
Oh man, can you both lose? Let's have you'll beat Tim.
Okay, yourself and Tahir.
I will go 2-0 against Tahir this year. Even though he has a really good record against me, I think.
Keezer and Pat.
Keezer.
Hughes and Scott.
Scott.
Okay, week 9. Brienne and Tim.
Tim.
Joe and Eliot.
Joe.
Robin and Hughes.
Hughes with the upset.
Marcos and Scott.
I'm gonna go with Marcos.
Tahir and Keezer.
Keezer.
Pete and
oh,
Pat.
that's a fun rivalry.
To
Yeah.
Me.
You're going to beat Pat? Fine. Week 10. Are you going to beat Brienne?
Oh, I want to say yes, but for whatever reason, whenever I've played Brienne, I've had really weird games with her.
You're just really sympathetic and you bench your best players. It's okay to say it.
Yo, sure. I have a feel... Well, you know what? By this time, she might be in full cell mode. If she's in full cell mode, I win. If not, she'll squeak one out and beat me. So I'll say I'll win. I think by this time, she might be in full cell mode.
Okay. Joe and Tahir.
Joe.
Robin and Pat.
Robin.
Marcos and Keezer.
Keezer.
Tim and Scott.
Scott.
Ooh, I think you have a lot of love for Scott right now.
Damn
Eliot?
I? Oh, man.
Yeah, it's okay. This is interesting. Eliot or Hughes?
Eliot.
Okay, week 11, Brienne or Hughes?
Hughes.
Joe or Scott?
Scott with the upset.
Robin or Tahir?
Robin.
Marcos or Pete?
Marcos.
Tim or Keezer?
Keezer.
Eliot or Pat?
Pat with the upset again. No. Eliot wins.
Eliot, you got me?
Yep, you win.
No, thank you. Brienne or Scott, week 12?
Ooh, Scott.
Joe or Hughes?
Joe.
Robin or Pete?
Ooh,
Oh, man.
This will be a good one.
Week 12.
I'm going to say me. I think I'm due. Against Robin. And I'm going to say me.
Marcos or Tahir?
I'm going to say Marcos.
Tim or Pat?
Tim.
And myself or Keezer?
Oh, man. I want to say you, but I think Keezer.
All right. And then we start our final 2 rivalry weeks. Brienne and Robin.
Robin.
Joe and Marcos.
Oh, man. This could be...
That could be a good one.
Yeah. I think they'll split this year. They're going to split.
So you had Joe winning in week 2. So Marcos?
Marcos. Yeah.
Tim and Tahir.
Who into here?
Tim.
Tim? I think Tim might win this one.
Okay. Our matchup. Eliot and Heath.
Me.
Yeah, dream on. Battle, part 2.
Oh, yes. Matt Hughes with the upset. Wait, did he win?
2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. 2-0 in the battle this year.
Okay, Uper number 2.
Pat with the upset.
Ho-ho.
Really?
Okay, week 14, Brienne and Marcos, not married.
Like about 4 years of me thinking so.
Pat, if you get 2 wins this year, you need to write a Brienne Marcos fan fiction. I'm going with Marcos wins.
Okay, Joe and Robin.
Oh my gosh.
That's so good, right? Last game of the year.
That is really good. I'll say Robin.
Okay. And then the Livingston brothers.
Oh, I'm winning. I own him.
Eliot and Tahir.
Eliot, you get the nod.
Okay, Keezer and Scott.
Keezer.
And Pat and Hughes.
Pat. No, Hughes.
All right. Well, thank you, Pete. You have just finished our entire schedule.
Whew. Man.
That was exhausting.
There's some tough ones in there. There's some good ones.
Yeah. Some great.
The one thing that I was thinking as we were going through it, last year we had such crazy parity in the bad sports puns division. I don't think we'll have that, but I think we're going to have... I just have this feeling like, for the most part, there's going to be like 2 to 3 teams. I don't know. I just feel like there's just like really good potential in all the leagues for there to be like 2 to 3 team races fairly deep.
That's what I'm thinking too. Yeah.
I think this year it might be Scott and Keezer battling it out. Really, that might be more of a little bit more of a 2 team, depending on how Hughes does. But I like the keepers of Keezer and Scott. I think they have some good ones, and then I think me and Tim will be battling, and then I think Marcos, Scott, and Robin will be battling. But I don't think we'll see the crazy parity that we saw last year with the He-Man, the bad sports puns division. That division was just like crazy.
Right.
I think it'll be a bad year for the hashtag down with divisions, but it'll be a good year for wildcard races, that's for sure.
I think so. So, Eliot, let's take another quick break and visit the past again. You up for that?
I'm down. Let's do it.
Okay, this one was December 16th. December 16th. at 8:29 p.m. Same year, first year. Do you care to guess who the author of this one was?
I think it was me.
No, Pat, go ahead. Who do you think it is?
Putting money on you?
You are right, sir. That's bad. This one is simply titled Reggie Bush. I was hoping for some miraculous Reggie Bush benching. I have serious beef with that guy solely based on the fact that he was ridiculously overrated in Madden during his first few years with the Saints. Can't tell you how many times he spun out of a Ray Lewis truck stick and ran for a touchdown against me. Only fitting that he finds the way to resurface in my fantasy football nightmare, taking a proverbial dump on my hopes and dreams. Touche, Reggie Bush. And then Pat, again, is the first person to respond with, that's because he's good. Thank you, Pat. Thank you for that.
I hate that. He screwed over the Lions when they wanted to make him the number one running back. He wasn't very good.
He was a jerkhole. But then we went on to actually thank Eliot later on in the... Thanking Eliot for the first year that we had and kissed his butt. And this was back when we all really liked him a lot. And then something started to happen. I don't know what. But before we dive into any more, Eliot, I want to ask you, as our commissioner, what are you most looking forward to coming into this upcoming season?
Man, what a big question there, Pete. Are you asking me as commissioner or as player?
I'll say as commissioner first and then player second.
Well, as commissioner, I'd just like to say I'm truly happy. Nothing big needs to change. The fact that we're doing these podcasts, the fact that we're engaged on Slack, keep it going. Keep these trades going. So what I'm looking forward to is more of the same. Call it boring, but I want more of the same. Stay engaged.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to not having to veto any trades.
I don't know, man.
I really don't get off on that. That's not what I need to do.
What about...
I have a note on my memo app of possible trades I might be able to get away with.
Okay.
So, do on there.
Anything you want to elaborate on, or are they super secret?
Well, we'll get there.
Okay. Okay. I also think it's kind of funny that looking back since the second year of our league is when we were getting proposals for half-point PPR, also for IR spots. So these are things that have been popping up quite a bit, and we just recently passed return yards. Are there any other aspects of the league that you are interested, that you think might be fun, that we might benefit from?
The keeper lottery was something that narrowly got voted down this year, which I think is quite a fun thing.
I think the next thing that we do won't be changing the scoring system, but it'll be some type of off-season event. So whether it's a draft, like a rookie draft near the NFL draft or shortly thereafter, or moving keeper deadline much earlier and doing some other type of supplemental draft, I don't know. I think that's really the next big thing. I don't think we're going to get an IR slot anytime soon. I don't think we're going to add a roster position anytime soon. I don't think we're going to go to PPR. I think that's all pretty well set.
Right. Let's go back, before I ask you another question, to another time, which was the second year of our league, in which a man posted on December 15th at 9:15 in the a.m. Eliot, do you care to guess who this person was?
I think it was you, sir.
I think you're wrong. Pat, would you care to guess?
I don't like this game.
Was it me?
No, but it is the man next to you,
Eliot.
our commissioner.
Oh, shit.
The post is some close playoff games. 1.2 points. That's a crazy slim margin of victory for Nimbly Bimbly over the Fighting Sponges. Sad face. Congrats on making the championship, Joe. How often are you going to check for stat corrections in the next couple days? For my matchup, I had basically given up. Charles, Megatron, AJ Green, Stewart all had very disappointing games. Wow, that's weird. You had all those guys and they all sucked? That's crazy. My only solace was that Peyton showed he was mortal again. I thought I was out of luck as I only had Bryant and Breeze and was facing Graham, Ingram, Macklin. Wow, Jeremy Macklin sighting, Matthews, and DeMarco Murray. But
That's way too many player drops right there.
Yeah. But I'll be damned. Macklin plus Matthews, 12 points. Bryant equals 30. I'll take it. Now I need Breeze plus 12 to be greater than Ingram and Graham. This will be the most exciting Monday Night Football game I've watched in some time.
Oh, hot take. Hot take there.
And how did that game end for you? Do you recall?
I don't recall, Pete. That was a long time ago. I don't like to live in the past. I only look towards the future.
I think you may have lost. So, I did manage to make myself pop up further down on the responses, and I did say at 12:57 p.m., which can't be good at 12:57 p.m. Shout outs to Mark Sanchez for refusing to throw to his check down against a prevent defense. Also, shout-outs to Selleck for fumbling the ball at midfield. Shout-outs to Philly being unable to kick a field goal from anywhere in the last 8 minutes of the game to get me the win. Fantasy football, you're a motherfucker. And then Joe chimed in with totally just realized this thread was happening. Yay, fantasy football. Typical Joe. So, Eliot. I was wondering... I don't know if you have it readily available. If you could do a quick rundown on going into this season, where we stand in the God points for this upcoming season, not where we were last season, but for the updated one.
Yeah, let me try to pull it up. I can say though, I summarized your win-loss tally for the schedule. Are you interested in what you picked?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so basically your playoff teams are, with the first overall seed coming out of the Roger Goodell division, is yourself, Pete, going 12-2.
Oh, that sounds about right, if I must say.
That's going to happen. Coming out of the bad sports would be Matt Kieser with an 11-3 record.
Which I think could be accurate.
Which could happen. And then coming out of the He-Man Woman Haters would be Marcos at 11-3.
Oh, wow.
The wild card then goes to Mr. Joe at 10-4.
Who was next closest in that?
Well, you've got
Scott at 9-5.
I'll go run through them. Yeah, Scott's at 9-5, Hughes at 6-8, Pat at 2-12, Tahir at 3-11, Brienne at 1-13, and then Eliot, Tim, and Robin all at 7-7.
Interesting. I think maybe there's a little bit of a Freudian slip somewhere amongst that scheduling.
I think you liked yourself just a little much.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You're beating Tim twice, you're beating Scott, you're beating Kieser.
Kieser might be tough. If there was one that I would probably go back on, Kieser would definitely probably be one of them.
So, not to jump your list, Pete, but I did have a couple more points about the schedule I wanted to point out.
Go for it.
So, basically, there's a few kind of oddities that have come out that are interesting. Definitely want to say these are all coincidences, no plan to whatsoever. Robin starts difficult and ends easy. First few for Robin. While Brienne is in week 2, he plays Marcos, Scott, Tim, and Joe, all in the first half of the season, but ends with Hughes, Pat, Tahir, yourself, and Brienne. So, Robin, if he can start off strong, has a pretty good end of the season.
That is pretty good.
Yeah. Whereas Tahir is the exact opposite. Tahir is actually going to be the sleeper in our division. Because after he plays yourself and Tim...
Then he's going to be asleep permanently.
Hey-o! After he, plays... and he'll play Brienne, Pat, Scott, Hughes, and myself. And I don't know, he's going to get a few wins out of that. Ending the year, though, Tahir plays Keezer, Joe, Robin, Marcos, and Tim.
Oh, that's brutal.
Back to back.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Completely. That Joe, Robin, Marcos is also pretty interesting in that he plays 3 members of the He-Man Woman Haters in a row. So that's no good for him.
Yeah, that's definitely that's a tough schedule. I know that we were over at your place for was it shower stuff? That weird?
Sure.
No, birthday stuff? Was it? No, birthday stuff for my wife. Why were we over at your house?
My wife.
Yeah, my wife. But we were talking, and we were talking a little about fantasy baseball, but we were also talking a little bit about fantasy football. And you were talking about a couple of things that you might try and do for fun. You know, Robin was there talking about it. You're talking about a little bit of roto, a little bit of strength of schedule. Did you want to talk a little bit about that, and if it's something that you might try and do?
No, not really. That's all in its infancy. I'm not really looking to add too much more. No, not yet.
I meant just for fun, not that we would like make any major.
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, I think in general the power ranks that Robin was kind of following up with last year. I think it came out in the weekly Yahoo email, but just basically like what if you played every other team in the league and what your record would be. So there'd be one team each week that went 11-0, and one team that went 0-11, and everyone in the middle. I think compiling those records is kind of fun. Takes some of the randomness out of the opponent you're playing. I'm not really ready to introduce that to the good Eliot ranks, but it's definitely interesting.
I want you to say one nice thing about Pat right now.
He knows when to hold them and when to fold them.
I want you to say one thing nice about Pat right now.
I was just killing all the other people on that plane in Texas Hold'em. Absolutely destroying. And the people at the seat behind me, they knew my cards. They probably looked at my cards.
Were you guys playing? Were you guys playing poker?
You know, on planes, the long flights, sometimes they have screens in the back of the seats in front of you.
Ah, yes.
So I totally just read the story about the guy who was flying on a plane and scheduling like illegal activity for when he arrived at his destination, but he was using a tablet with really large font, and so the kid behind him could see what he was writing.
Oh my god.
And it was just basically like, hey, flight attendant, this guy's a creeper and going to do some weird stuff when he gets off the plane. You should arrest him. Totally did.
My God.
True story.
That's amazing.
So, Eliot.
Yeah.
Looking at your draft last year, compared to what you're going to be doing this year, where do you think you went wrong in last year's draft and that you're hoping to correct going into this year?
I don't really know where I went wrong last year. I had a plan, it executed, and then the players didn't perform. Don't know if I would really change that much. What I had last year was a first-round pick and 3 second-round picks.
4.
So last year I was able to stock up, and this year is much more spread out. So I'm wishing for the best. I'm a lower half in the league going into it. I know my role. I know my place. And I don't know. I'm going in with low expectations is fun. It makes it a little bit more enjoyable, but because I don't have as much to fall when I lose, if I lose. But yeah, I don't know.
I just want you to know that blaming your players for the performance of your team is not a very strong leadership quality. Pat, take note of that, please.
My players can all suck it.
Wow, earmuffs. Aaron Rodgers. Earmuffs.
I love A-Raj. He's good.
Do you care to divulge draft strategy going into this season?
Draft good player.
Who are you hoping falls to you in the draft?
Wide receiver in the second and third round. No, straight up. So I hear everything Robin and Joe says. They say at number 4 overall, they would take AJ Green. I hear that. And AJ Green would be my number 1 receiver. I'm going to come into the season with Spencer Ware and Jonathan Stewart, two RB3s for the year.
Right.
So I could probably afford to take AJ Green. As I sit here today, what are we, 2.5 weeks ahead of the draft? I'm still going running back. I have a choice between DeMarco Murray and LaShawn McCoy. I don't think I can go wrong. That will give me the depth at running back so that I could do a flex or bench Stewart or Ware each week. And that's why I say I need my second round pick and my third round pick to come up gold with wide receivers.
Who are you hoping? Because you have the what is it? 15th overall pick.
I can pull it up here. I'm at 16.
16th. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Who are you hoping? Is it just best available wide receiver, or is there any one specific guy you're hoping will get to you?
No, not one specific guy. I think there are definitely 16 good players going into the draft. And some are running backs, some are wide receivers, and some are named Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So it totally could be a best available, but it probably will be best receiver available. As the spring goes on, certain players aren't looking as good. Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon, it's all negative publicity. Fournette looks awesome. Dalvin Cook looks awesome.
Yeah.
So those kind of rise up. But wide receivers, definitely what I need.
I was reading today a Washington Post article. I guess they talk about fantasy, but they were debating the zero RB strategy versus the go all in on RB strategy, which is interesting.
Huh.
And they were saying that you should probably go all in on running backs.
Yeah.
If you have early picks, but if you don't, then you should just do the zero RB strategy.
Well, and our league is so different. It's so shallow, so I'm relying on keepers. We'll see.
And speaking of keepers, how many are you keeping this year, and who's your favorite?
Well, I'm not keeping too many. I've got, I'm pulling it up here. I only have 4 players keeping right now. Jonathan Stewart, Spencer Ware, J.J. Nelson as a wide receiver flyer, and then Jordan Reed. I'll say Reed is my favorite keeper because he is a game changer. He is a wide receiver 1 in the tight end position when he's healthy. If he's there for 16 games or close to that, I'm going to do real well. I know the risks. I know he can get hurt. I'm probably looking to target Vernon Davis later in the draft to ensure I have a Washington tight end. But he's my favorite.
It's Christmas. You can buy him one gift. What is that one gift that you get him?
For Jordan Reed?
For Jordan Reed.
The German medical treatment that Kobe Bryant got.
Right? Help me. Your toe. Go.
Yeah.
Go to Germany.
Germany. That's what it is. Just get well soon, dude. I'm keeping Roger Reed in the. What is that?
It's pretty late.
Yeah, so I got a couple more years. Yeah, stay healthy, my friend.
Not stay thirsty, but stay
Stay
healthy.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, stay hungry, stay healthy.
Right.
Not thirsty. Patrick, do you have a question that you would like to ask our commissioner?
Oh,
God, Eliot.
About my keepers.
I'm giving you a chance to put him on the hot seat.
Let's see. Would you ever expand this league?
Past 12 teams?
Yes.
Sure.
Sure.
Not anytime soon. You need the right owners, and everyone has to agree. We've got a good thing going. But
if you have a good thing going, wouldn't you want to spread it between more people?
no, not necessarily, because more people is harder to wrangle in. Like, we already only have 9 active members in Slack.
Yeah.
Tahir, Marcos, and Brienne don't participate. Tahir does sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's fine. But too many more, you lose. I like the percentage of the league that's engaged.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And the spreading of the talent pool is only good to increase the strategy of trying to find those diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
And it's already, I don't know, our league's not that shallow. Like 12 teams with a number of roster spots, 3 wide receivers, that's not that bad. So,
Eliot,
I doubt it'd be anytime soon.
you are in your, is this 5th year commissioning our league?
This is our 5th, because we've had 4 champions already, yeah.
That's right. This is our 5th year.
Yeah. I have those good Eliot rankings up when you want to know about it.
Okay, we'll get into those right after this question. But how do you feel that you have grown as a commissioner of our league?
I've learned
60 minutes asking the softball question.
I know, these are super softball. I've learned that when a Mr. Matt Kieser's in your league, you write the rules in black and white.
How will you deal with collusion going forward? And do you encourage it in your leagues? It seems to happen quite often, even in the playoffs.
No collusion. If I think it's black and white, I will rule on it. If I think it's a gray area, I will commission a special committee to help me decide if it's collusion, and we'll take it from there.
It's really just going to be like you and Bash sitting together.
Pretty much.
You have... Well, sorry, what was that?
No, keep going.
You have to take your 4 keepers and form a super team with them. Like a superhero team, right? And you're going to go fight the X-Men. What are the superpowers of your 4 players? Starting with Jonathan Stewart.
Okay, Stewart
Ending
is...
with Jordan Reed, since he's your favorite.
Well, Reed's the tall one with the good hands. So he's kind of like Mr. Fantastic. Is that his name, right? Who can stretch?
Yes.
No. Yeah. So that's Reed. Jonathan Stewart's the fat one. He's the goal line carry back. So he busts through the walls. He's got the power behind him. Spencer Ware, he's the agility. He can turn like on a dime.
Can he though? Can he?
I actually have no idea. But that's the role he's playing. He's Flash. And then J.J. Nelson's like the invisible girl. He's so fast that he just like blinks and he goes invisible and ends up 50 yards down the field.
Yeah, it's almost like he's so invisible that he doesn't even produce in games. He's that...
Every week, just some weeks I'm happy about it.
And then what's your role? What are you? What are you as a leader of these 4?
Oh, I'm X. An absolute crazy kooky guy who only kind of knows what he's doing.
You frighten me. You frighten me. Honest assessment. Give me 4 teams that are making the playoffs. Go.
I think Joseph makes the playoffs. I think Tim makes the playoffs. I think Kieser makes the playoffs. And then the wild card comes down to Robin, Marcos, Scott, or yourself. And so, odds of who can manage their team best, I'll go with Robin.
You have no faith in me. Why do you have me ranked 11th in the power rankings?
Because you deserve it.
That's bullshit. Go ahead, give us a good Elliot rankings before I...
So, what I want to do with the power rankings, I'll wait till keepers are entered. I'm going to pull every member in the league of their power rankings,
Jesus.
Do an average.
and then compile them. And I'll do something fancy where like I'll remove the best and worst for each team. So don't worry, even though I hate you, Pete, it wouldn't count in the ranks.
God. You really do hate me. It's horrible.
You're gonna lose.
Godeliot rankings. Hit us with them.
Number 12. Wait, I need my breaking news.
Yes.
Number 12 in the Godeliot rankings for 2017 is Marcos with 600 points. This is a very low score, and if Marcos does not perform well, he will most certainly be shithead next year.
Yeah. Luckily, he's losing an 0-12 season next year.
No, because this is only his third year, so
he's not losing anything.
He's not losing anything. So this is the culmination of 3 years of stats for Marcos. In 11th place, our current shithead, our upcoming shithead, is Tahir with 2,150 points. Tahir is one of our absent owners. He lives a couple hours away. We're going to have to think of some things for him to deliver this year. I think it's video. It obviously has to be video. It could be call-ins to the podcast. I love promos. I think leaving promos for other teams would be good.
Yeah.
I think changing team names and avatars to hear better pay up. Especially because in number 10 is Brienne, who after 2 seasons has supplanted Tahir as she has 100 points ahead at 2,250. 9th place is Keyser at 2,600. 8th place is Scott at 3,200. 7th place, Pete, is at 3,400. 6th place is Hughes at 3,450.
Can't believe I'm behind Hughes.
I know, right? He's had a better go of it.
And his team doesn't even have a name.
Will never get old. I love it. Much better than High Smelliot. Thank you, Scott.
I had to spell it for him. It was originally Hib Schmajibble.
So
type it in
we'll go on a tangent. We have a rumor, or not a rumor, but a thing going on that we think that Scott's faking it.
Really?
Do you think Scott is faking his bad typing and some of his video?
Drunkenness? Is he faking his drunkenness?
He was drinking when I was with him. I had to drive home, so I did not drink. You're welcome.
Good answer.
But yeah, I have seen him drink, and that's what I can speak to. I have seen him type legibly while drunk, so maybe it's just the Slack chat. He's exaggerating.
Scott, he just threw you under the bus.
What about the videos? Is he heavily intoxicated in the videos, or is he just a really good actor?
When he's drunk, the videos are real.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I'll take that as a above average drunkenness, authentic drunkenness.
Well, Central Michigan is a party school, so
right.
I also don't doubt that.
No. I believe the videos much more than the illegible typing.
I'm not totally convinced that's 100% genuine.
Okay.
I feel like he's not trying.
Okay.
But I feel like if he was trying, he could do it.
Right.
Maybe I'm just totally ignorant. We'll see. I just stay the hell away from Slack on drunk.
You can always delete it later. Top 5 of the Godeliot rankings going into the 2017 season is yours truly, Eliot, at 3,550 points. That is not going to get any better, as I've had some bad seasons and I'm going to lose some good seasons. In 4th place is Tim at 3,950.
Which is just completely unrealistic.
Which is amazing as he's come up from shithead.
I was going to say, what a difference a year's made.
He's not down from shithead, though, either, because he has the 1,000 point all-time bonus for the championship.
That I kind of invented.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Well, that was my idea.
3rd place is Pat, sitting across from me, 4,200 points. That is without, have you even made the playoffs?
Yes, I have. I think
I shouldn't be speaking ill to my elders, but
I think I came in 2nd place once.
Okay.
Yes, I lost to Joe.
Okay.
Yep,
well, that's pretty good. So, yeah, Pat, you're with your Tankapalooza. Let me just say, you may want to think against that.
But I'm losing a rather unpleasant season 3 years ago after this season.
Yeah.
So it might not hurt me too
Should be
much.
better. 2nd place is Robin at 5,850. and then number 1 is Joe at 7,500.
That's insane.
It's
Is that even droppable?
so many points. Robin has the 1,000 point bonus. Joe has the 2,000 point bonus. I'm not ready for it now, but I will run scenarios of what Joe would have to do and what Robin would have to do for Robin to reclaim the presidency, or if it's even possible that Pat makes it. I don't think it is.
Theoretically, I'm in striking distance, but with my team, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so. So we better get used to that top. The one other thing I'm looking forward to, Marcos is probably going to be shithead. I don't even know. I'll run a scenario later, too, of if he can catch to here. But Keezer's right there in danger of dropping below Brienne into here.
Ooh.
That could be a real long way to fall.
Imagine Keezer having to sell his team if it got to that point.
He'd have to wear his own T-shirts. He'd have to go Keezer awesome 1+1. That's what I want to see.
Are you going to wear that to the draft? Is that part of the deal?
Yeah, so also, Pete, part of that 4-team trade, Keezer's sending me some shirt, and he wants me to wear it. I'll let you guess what's going to happen.
What I think that the shirt's going to be?
No, the shirt says,
Keezer rules 1+1, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
my God.
wants to wear it.
That's amazing. And you're going to wear it?
No, I never agreed to it.
Is this something in which presidents can make you do this?
I will consult with my president.
Okay. Well, we are about out of time. We went through a lot of things. We went through the first ever 4-team trade. We went through the entire schedule this year, in which I, in all of my brilliance, am going apparently almost undefeated on my way to a championship. And then we also revisited some amazing posts in the past, and I'm actually going to end on the last Dynasty message board post that we've ever had, and it happened in 2016.
Wasn't it Joe saying, remember when we used this?
It was exactly then. It was exactly that. It was October 8th. In 2015, we had no message board posts. That might have been when we got on Slack. But October 8th, 7:21 in the a.m., Joe, with a very simple post that said, remember when we use this? Poop. And then I responded with a frowny face. And then Robin responded with, I just noticed this. Dick farts. Eliot, your thoughts on our usage of the Dynasty message board?
I'm super glad we went to Slack.
Although it doesn't save all our hilarious arguments.
And I think that may be the point.
Yeah, that might be the point.
I railed on Steph Curry for 2 years.
That was horrible.
Probably
All right.
wasn't
Any parting words, gentlemen? Pat, I will give you the first parting word. Anything you would like to say before we conclude?
Sorry, Eliot, you're going to have to veto a trade this season. It's just going to happen.
Eliot.
No, I bring it on. Bring it on, all of you. Bring it on.
And I'm also going to have sound logic of why the veto shouldn't happen.
I'm coming guns blazing, week 1. Week 1, I'm coming. None of this waiting to see if my team performs. None of that. Tim, week 1, it's on. Week 2, Pete, it's on. It's a Livingston slaughter. Book it. 2-0, 0-2. One of them's going to happen.
What about 1-1?
No, not going to happen. Love the Livingston slaughter. It's so much fun.
That's kind of Game of Thrones-esque. You're trying to end the bloodline.
Yes. I will not be defeated.
Well, Eliot, again, you always do a great job. We'll definitely have you on again. I think the next time we will hear from you, I think, will be draft day when we do our live broadcast from the draft. It should be a fairly short one because I think there's a good amount of keepers this year, maybe even more than last year. So I think that this will be a pretty quick draft. So we might do a draft and then a quick draft recap with you if you have the time. I don't know. If you have time, we'll see.
Sounds good.
But Pat, thank you so much for joining us all the way from Michigan. You flew out here specifically to be on this podcast. I paid for it with the money that I make from my sponsorship from the wonderful German brewery out there in Petaluma, California.
Dutch.
Dutch.
Not German.
It's the same, right? They're all the same? No? Not so much? Okay.
No.
But you guys, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate all the people that have been following us on Podbean. If you want, hit me up on Twitter at Peter Livingston or shoot us an email at ffdynastypod. So far, I only get spam mail, but that's cool. Maybe somebody will shoot me a regular email. A lot of spam, a lot of sexual solicitations. Maybe that's not spam. Maybe that's real. I don't know.
Maybe that's like a Cambodian way of saying I love your podcast.
I think so. They seem nice.
You want to use the email for Tinder, you know what you're going to get.
My Grindr account. Whatevs.
Grindr. Okay.
But yeah, thank you all so much for listening. It's been a blast. Good night.
Good night.